So we know the NBA trade deadline is February 6th, and a lot has been happening. So first, we're actually going to start with Kevin Durant. So the Suns are fielding trade calls for KD. It was reported they don't plan to move Durant before the deadline, but they are listening to various teams' pitches. On the flip side, Kevin Durant is said to be aware of all this, so it wouldn't come out of the blue if anything were to happen. But Mase, do you think that the Suns should trade KD? And if he were to go, what do you think would be a good landing spot for him?
I honestly think the Suns, how could I say this? That's a great place for Kevin Durant, but I don't think they're any different than when it was Book's team, right? So these are both two players that I really, really admire on this team, Kevin Durant and Book, right? So I don't think with either, I think they could get the same amount of wins with one of them, no matter which one it was. So I don't really see the importance of having them both because they haven't figured out how to play together because both of them need the ball to score. You know, they're not players that play without the ball, that do a lot of things without the ball. So pauses to when you talk about trading Garnett, you probably could get something really great for it. And I think the real person they need to get out of there is Bradley Beal. He messed us up. You know, like, I don't know. I like Bradley Beal as a person, but basketball-wise, it just wasn't a great fit. And I think, like, another thing when it comes to the Suns, yeah, they gotta get two of them out of there. Two of them out of there. It gotta be Bradley Beal and somebody else.
Yeah, as far as the Suns and Kevin Durant is concerned, I think their best opportunity was the year we went to the games the year before last.
Mm-hmm.
But we seen it didn't look like they would be able to get over the hump with Denver. I think when we went, Luka has 79. Well, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but some incredible number. Pardon me. And I don't think that the Kevin Durant, Devin Booker thing has panned out because, and I don't know this, I'm just saying, speculating. They didn't have that LeBron James D Wade talk. And it looks like Devin Booker sometimes defer to him and Kevin Durant defers to Devin Booker. And I could be totally wrong. I'm just telling you from me watching the game from the outside in, because that year we went when Kevin Durant first got there, it looked like, okay, they're going to be all right.
Yeah.
And then maybe it's the Bradley Beal factor that made them not be all right. And that's a great take. But I'm not sure if they mesh, talking about Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, well, because we seen that they couldn't beat Denver last year. Year before last. Last year, I believe they got swept by Minnesota.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not working. What I would say is this Rich Paul 1 and whoever Bradley Beal agent is 2, is this goes to show that no trade clause is important. Those are only 2 players in the NBA with the no trade clause. Because they even be considering trading Kevin Durant. That's how much this Luka shit shook shit up. Because now what's going to happen is general managers aren't going to be scared. They're not going to be like, I don't know, man. You know, everybody going to hate me if I do this or do that or do this. And winning solves everything. So that's yet to be seen for Dallas or the Lakers. But I don't think that now general managers are going to be scared to move a big name. Is it going to happen? I'm not sure if it's going to happen. But to answer your question, Stat, the 2 teams I would say Kevin Durant would fit on immediately is like we were talking before the show aired. I think on the Knicks, I don't know who the Knicks would give up for him. But this puts them right there with Boston. If you get Kevin Durant on the Knicks and you keep Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG, and you put Kevin Durant there, I don't know if Boston is better than them. Right now it's looking like Cleveland's better than everybody in the East, but we have to see when the playoffs start. I'm not putting Cleveland ahead of Boston at my personal opinion, until the playoffs start. They may run away with it in the regular season. But I think Kevin Durant puts the Knicks at least at the top of the East. If they don't finish, they'll be all right in the playoffs. And the other team that comes to mind is Golden State. I don't know how him and Draymond's relationship is these days, but it's a team he's familiar with, organization he's familiar with, city he's familiar with. Two of the core players that he won 2 championships are already there. So those are the 2 teams that come to mind. You definitely help Golden State in the West, and it isn't like trying to fit in. They already know how to play together. And if it was the East Coast, I would go with the Knicks.
What about Jimmy Butler, Miami?
Well, the thing about Jimmy Butler is the word that I've been hearing is that the way he's handling the situation in Miami, nobody wants to be bothered. Because they know that playoff Jimmy Butler is a real thing. Like, that's a real thing. When the playoffs come, Jimmy Butler it's a real thing. But the way he's handling this situation, a lot of people it's turning them off. Like, Golden State was interested, but Steve Kerr and Steph Curry is like, we don't need that energy in this locker room. They probably like, yo, we already got one nigga going crazy. we don't
imagine a fight break down. You got 2 of them niggas on your team. Can't hold both of them.
So basically, that was being talked about, him trying to get to Golden State, but Steve Kerr and Steph Curry was like, not saying they said no, but they're worried about his off the court and locker room activity. And Jimmy Butler, everybody knows the playoffs is coming up and what he can do in the playoffs. So for him not to already been traded by now, that just goes to show some teams are like, I don't know. I actually seen Kevin Durant and Paul Pierce talking about this situation. They were mad. They were upset with Jimmy Butler, 2 former All-Stars, Hall of Famers, because they're saying that the way Jimmy Butler is handling this, he's going to fuck up and this was their words, not mine. He's going to fuck up guaranteed money for players in the future. Not coming to practice, taking your own flight to the game, walking out of practice, continuous suspensions.
Taking his own flight to the game.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't get on the plane.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't get on the plane with the team. So, Kevin Garnett was very passionate about it. Paul Pierce, Paul Pierce is a little mellow, but he's like, yo, we came to work whether we liked what was going on or not. We showed up and did our job as professionals, and we went home. If we didn't like what was going on in the organization, we didn't handle things like this. And what's going to happen is, from their perspective, is guaranteed money is not going to be guaranteed money for NBA players moving forward because of the way Jimmy Butler and people like Jimmy Butler handle this situation, according to Kevin Durant and Paul Pierce.
They say when people show you who they are, believe it the first time.
Facts.
And this is not his first time.
Right.
Also, just regarding the Jimmy Butler situation, so he actually told the Warriors also that he was unwilling to sign an extension there, and so that basically ended their trade talks, in addition to what Cam reported.
Oh, yeah, he got
a lot going on. I don't know how it's going to work out for him, and honestly, that's a great question to ask. Where do you guys even see him landing? Because now Dallas got AD, Max Christie. The Warriors are ended trade talks. What do you even think would be a
See, Pat Riley understands he'll end up there. He'll end up right there because when it's all said and done, Pat Riley will love to be able to tell you, nobody wants you. Nobody wants you with your antics and the things that you're doing. And I'm not saying I'm saying this, but Pat will definitely is sitting back like, yeah, let him finish doing that, because after that, he's definitely going to just drop the contract and get him out of there. And it'll be one of those things where we've seen this a few times where players could have played well beyond those years and even been coaches when it's all said and done, but they remember these type of things when it's time to move on.
That's a great point, Mase, because at the end of the year, he has a $52 million option at the end of the year that he could pick up. But you're right, Pat Riley's type of nigga say, buy that nigga out and let him figure it out. But that still gives him his money. And so you could get a like Russell Westbrook type deal where you might play for league, veterans maximum. So he fuck around, and now that's a different scenario.
Yeah.
Now if you getting Jimmy Butler for $2 million, $3 million, you might want to put up with it. You get what I'm saying? So I know one thing, that the deadline is 2 days away. Well, Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern is over. We should see a lot more activity in the next couple of days and see what happens. But Jimmy Butler is going to be on Miami if this doesn't happen by Thursday for the rest of the year. And then what do you do? Because it's his option to pick up the $52 million option. So you're right, Mase. Pat Riley be like, you might just go and stay here because.
Would you trade him for Kawhi? That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one. They're both hurt a lot. Kawhi, to me, and I'm a super duper Kawhi fan, and I don't mean this in a malicious way. He's too unreliable.
It's that same, that's what I was saying. It's the same unreliable for unreliable.
Right, but Jimmy Butler is hurt a lot, but not as much as Kawhi. Not as much as Kawhi.
Jimmy's also choosing to be unreliable. That's the problem with that. Because it's like, yes, he gets hurt, but he is able to even play right now. But he's throwing a hissy fit, and none of us like it because we want to see you play.
And that's right, Stat. He's choosing to be. Yeah, gotta give some respect to Kawhi. Kawhi is going through things. It's right.
What you want, nigga? Everything, nigga, super size. Two Big Macs, like when they doing them 2 for $5.